What's up, Steelers Nation? Welcome back to the channel, your go-to spot for all things Pittsburgh Steelers. As always, this team is striving to improve week by week, learning from setbacks, and gearing up for the grind ahead. This Sunday, we've got a divisional clash against the Bengals, and while the team is putting in the work, some tough injury news is shaking things up. Before we jump into the details, don't forget to hit that like button to support your Steelers family. If you're not already subscribed, click that button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any updates, analysis, or hype. Now, let's get into the latest headlines shaping Week 13 and beyond. The Steelers will likely be without one of their top defensive playmakers on Sunday. Edge rusher Alex Highsmith, battling an ankle injury sustained against the Commanders in Week 10, has been officially listed as doubtful for the game in Cincinnati. This isn't the first time Highsmith has dealt with injuries this season. Earlier in the year, he missed 3 games due to a groin issue, and his absence was felt deeply. The Steelers are 6-0 when Highsmith starts and finishes games this season, compared to 2-3 in the contests he's missed. When he's on the field, Highsmith is a game-changer. In just 4 full games, he's tallied 4 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and 9 quarterback hits. His ability to pressure opposing quarterbacks and set the edge against the run has been a cornerstone of Pittsburgh's defense. For now, it seems the Steelers are targeting Week 14 against the Browns as the likely return date for Highsmith. Until then, it's next man up. In Highsmith's absence, the Steelers will rely on a rotation of rookie Nick Herbig and veteran Preston Smith. Herbig, despite dealing with some injuries of his own, has been a pleasant surprise. Over 4 games filling in for Highsmith, he's managed 3.5 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. Impressive numbers for the young pass rusher. Smith, acquired mid-season, brings veteran experience and leadership to the defense. While not as explosive as Highsmith, his ability to read offenses and set up younger players like Herbig will be critical in maintaining the pass rush against Cincinnati. Another big storyline for the Steelers is the status of second-year cornerback Cory Trice Jr. after showing flashes of brilliance early this season, including a clutch end-zone interception against the Broncos in Week 2. Trice suffered a hamstring injury in Week 3 and hasn't seen the field since. This injury comes after Trice missed his entire rookie year in 2023 due to a torn ACL. The young cornerback has faced more adversity in his short NFL career than most players experience in a decade. Trice's 21-day practice window, which began on November 14th, is nearing its end. If he's not activated to the roster by December 5th, he'll be sidelined for the remainder of the season. The coaching staff has been cautious with Trice, ruling him out for this week's game against Cincinnati. If he's deemed ready, he could return in time for the Browns matchup, a game that could have significant playoff implications. The Steelers' depth at cornerback has been stretched thin. Without Trice, Pittsburgh relies heavily on Joey Porter Jr. and Dante Jackson as their primary outside corners. While both have performed admirably, the options behind them are less reassuring. James Pierre has been a liability in coverage, often targeted by opposing quarterbacks when he's on the field. Cam Sutton is another option, but the coaching staff prefers to deploy him in the slot, where his skills are best utilized. Getting Trice back could provide much-needed relief, particularly in dime packages and obvious passing situations. His athleticism and instincts would be a welcome addition to a secondary that's been battling injuries all season. The Steelers' upcoming schedule is brutal. After this week's divisional tilt against the Bengals, Pittsburgh faces 4 more AFC North opponents, a trip to Philadelphia, and a primetime showdown against the Kansas City Chiefs. With so much on the line, every game and every player matters. Highsmith's potential return against Cleveland and Trice's possible activation could be game-changers for a team still in the thick of the playoff hunt. 1. Pressure Cincinnati's quarterback. Without Highsmith, TJ Watt will need to carry an even larger load. Preston Smith and Nick Herbig must step up to keep the pressure consistent and prevent the Bengals from exploiting Pittsburgh's secondary. 2. Contain Cincinnati's receivers. Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins remain lethal threats. Joey Porter Jr. and Dante Jackson will need to play their best football to keep them in check. 3. Run the ball effectively. With injuries piling up on defense, the Steelers' offense needs to control the clock. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren can help keep the defense fresh by dominating time of possession. 4. Limit turnovers. The Steelers can't afford to give the Bengals extra opportunities. Russell Wilson must manage the game efficiently, avoiding risky throws and capitalizing in the red zone. Steelers fans, Let's take a moment to appreciate where this team stands right now. The defense has been a cornerstone of this success, ranked 8th overall by Fox Sports, 4th against the run, and tied for 3rd in scoring defense, allowing just 16.9 points per game. But not everyone is impressed. Bengals wide receiver Ja'Marr Chase recently made headlines with some bold comments, essentially dismissing the Steelers' defense as just another opponent. This kind of talk isn't unusual in the AFC North, where rivalries run deep, but it's clear that Cincinnati isn't planning to roll over this week. At 4-7, the Bengals are fighting to keep their season alive, and their offense, led by Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase, is the engine that keeps them competitive. Burrow has connected with Chase 73 times this season for over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. Burrow is a master of escaping pressure, and with only 4 interceptions all season, he's been careful with the football. However, Steelers fans will remember the 2022 game when Pittsburgh forced Burrow into throwing 4 picks, the worst single-game performance of his career. Pittsburgh is among the league leaders in interceptions this year, with 12 picks through 12 games. Players like Dante Jackson, rookie Beanie Bishop Jr., and Joey Porter Jr. have been key contributors, with Jackson leading the team with 4 interceptions. Bishop, in particular, has been a revelation. Stepping up during Cam Sutton's suspension, he delivered a standout performance against the New York Jets, intercepting Aaron Rodgers twice. Despite his contributions, Bishop has been overlooked in the Defensive Rookie of the Year conversation, an oversight Steelers Nation won't forget. Safety Minkah Fitzpatrick has been quieter than usual in terms of splash plays. His last interception came in 2022, a season in which he notched 6 picks. Injuries and role changes limited him in 2023, and while 2024 was supposed to be his year to roam free and make plays, the turnovers still haven't come. Steelers insiders suggest this might be by design. Fitzpatrick is playing within a system that prioritizes wins over individual stats. Whether or not Fitzpatrick gets back to his ball-hawking ways, his impact on the field is undeniable. So, what about Chase's comments? To some, it's classic AFC North trash talk. But to the Steelers, it's bulletin board material. Cincinnati has every reason to come out swinging. They're clinging to slim playoff hopes, and taking down the division leader would be a huge statement. But this Steelers team has shown time and again that they thrive in high-stakes games. Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase are one of the league's most dangerous combinations. Joey Porter Jr. and Dante Jackson will need to bring their A-game to keep Chase in check, while the pass rush, led by T.J. Watt, needs to disrupt Burrow's rhythm. The Steelers' ability to force mistakes could be the difference-maker. If players like Bishop and Jackson can capitalize on Burrow's rare errors, it'll swing the momentum in Pittsburgh's favor. A strong ground game from Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren will keep Burrow and Chase on the sidelines, giving Pittsburgh the chance to dictate the pace. The Bengals will test the Steelers' secondary with deep shots and quick passes. Communication and discipline will be critical to avoid giving up big plays. This matchup is more than just another divisional game. A win here would not only strengthen the Steelers' grip on the AFC North, but also send a message to the rest of the league that Pittsburgh is a legitimate contender. Alright, Steelers fans, now it's time to hear from you. How do you feel about the team's ability to handle these key injuries? Will Nick Herbig and Preston Smith rise to the occasion in Highsmith's absence? And do you think Cory Trice Jr. will make his long-awaited return next week? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the conversation started. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis, news, and updates as we navigate this crucial stretch of the season. Thanks for tuning in, Steelers Nation. Here we go. The Steelers have faced more than their fair share of adversity this season, but resilience is part of this team's DNA. As they prepare to take on Cincinnati, the focus is on maximizing the talent available and getting healthier for the critical matchups ahead. With the playoffs in sight, every game is a chance to prove that Pittsburgh can overcome any obstacle. Stay locked in, Steelers Nation, the best is yet to come.